of it and move the object, I can grab the object and move the object. If I want to adjust the path in more detail, I can actually select it as a path tool and use the Bezier handles to really finely change the path that it's following on all of the Bezier points. What's really cool is I can jump to different parts of this and change the object inside here. So I might do something like resize it here, or let's skew it. Grab my skew tool and skew the object. And then if I come across to another frame and I change something like the alpha value of it, so let's come down and change the alpha value and pull that down. I could not do that in the past. I'm changing two different values, two different properties at two different times in my animation. If I'd done that in the past, it would have stopped the first one when it got to the second and changed it on. Now, those two property changes don't affect each other, and the reason is there is only one keyframe in this animation. These little triangles down here are actually property keyframes, so they're just changing individual properties, not every property in one go. So that's really cool. So I've got a lot of control, and if I wanted to drag my animation around on the screen and move it on the screen, in the past I would have had to go to every single keyframe and move the object on every keyframe. Now I can just grab the path and I can move my animation to wherever I want it on the screen. If I want to resize my animation, see at the beginning my animation starts on the screen and it starts from the bottom corner. If I wanted it to start off the screen, all I need to do is select my path, grab my resize tool, and let's just come across this way a little bit. Whoops, grab the resize tool and then just stretch my animation off the screen. I can even skew the animation as well. Because it's a path, I can change using any of the control tools inside Flash. Okay, but what happens if I wanted more control over that object as it flies? I want really precise numeric control over that animation. I can now select that animation and open up this new property motion editor window, which for anyone who's used After Effects, it's exactly the same, or very similar, as the motion editor inside After Effects. And I can come in and adjust each of these elements inside here to exactly precise numeric control. Or in fact, I can also come into them and I can start to do things like control the points. In fact, let's jump into the skew. You'll notice here that I can actually adjust that very, very precisely. If I wanted to add another keyframe inside there, I can just, like in After Effects, add another keyframe, drag that object around, and actually edit the curve between those objects while I'm working. Very, very simple and precise. I can also inside there add filter effects and eases, and I have control over every individual property, all of those filters and all of those eases as I'm animating it. So I've got really, really precise control using the motion editor. But then what happens if I want to save this animation? Because I've spent a long time creating this really cool animation, I want to save it and use it for other objects in the past and in the future. So now we at the motion presets window, and if I open that up, I can just select my animation on the screen, save that animation and call it KL animation. And I've created that animation. I can reuse that over and over again in any other file. In fact, I can share that animation now with other people. All of the properties of that, including the filters and all of the eases, etc., are all saved in that animation, and I can just apply that to any other animation in the future. Okay, there's also a bunch of defaults in there as well, so we've provided some templates to start you off to make it very easy to use. Okay, jumping on, because I've got a lot to show, quickly jump into the crane.